Hi, I'm T.R. Williams, County Executive.
Hi, I'm Keith Durham, Mayor of the City of Lawrenceburg, the birthplace of Southern gospel music and the home of David Crockett.
Hi everybody, I'm Alan Betts. I'm host president of the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series held in Lawrenceburg.
On behalf of the citizens of Lawrence County,
I want to welcome you to the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series.
PSEC Productions, in association with K2 Media, proudly presents the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on the X Sports Radio Network and X Sports TV Online. Now live from the birthplace of Southern gospel music and the land of Crockett. With Cam Mashburn, here's Kevin Kilpatrick.
Exciting matchup earlier that we'll talk about in just a little bit, but coming up in just moments, we've got Giles County, Tennessee taking on Sarasota, Florida, and it's the nighttime game on Tom Cruise Field. We are in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and if you're not familiar with Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, maybe you're listening in Florida or other parts of the country right now or watching us on our live stream, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee is home to Davy Crockett, Senator and actor Fred Thompson, Michael Jeter, the actor, you might remember him from The Green Mile and Evening Shade. Some other significant celebrities from around here. David Weathers. David Weathers, you're going to hear a lot about a little bit later on because David Weathers spent nearly 20 years in the major leagues as a pitcher, and he will be coaching the Lawrence County team who will be playing on the other field tonight, the Denver Trap Field, as we are calling this game tonight. And Cam Mashburn is my broadcast partner, and we mentioned the game earlier, and it was quite a matchup in southern Rosario County, Texas. Went into the seventh inning trailing 3-1, but they come out with an 8-3 victory over Westchester, California.
Yeah, and we'll give you the Brad Nielsen State Farm game recap of that one. Basically, it looked like California had the game under control. They go into the seventh inning, top of the seventh. Their pitcher's going to try to complete the complete game. Maybe gets a little tired, wouldn't you say? And gives up some walks and a couple of hits, and then it just they swap pitchers. Then all of a sudden the door breaks wide open, and they score 7 runs on top of the seventh. And California's never able to overcome. Texas wins, and they got one win in the very big first game.
And we are about set for our first pitch here on Tom Cruise Field as Giles County will be the visiting team, and the first pitch underway, and it will go for a strike.
Showing bunt.
Miguel Hayes leading off for Giles County, Tennessee as we get underway. That ball is lifted out of play. 1-1 count.
And the crowd has really filled out now. The earlier game today, it was a good crowd, but it's nothing quite like it is now. The Giles County fans have really come out in full force here tonight to support their team.
Yeah, the crowd contingent from Giles County, of course, they are just east of here, about 20 miles, I suppose.
Oh, it's less. It's probably
less than that.
It's from my house, which is south of Lawrence, 20 minutes. So 17 miles. How about that? I think that's what the sign used to say. I don't know what it is. 20 miles, 17 miles. You're right on.
1-2 count to Miguel Hayes, leading off for Giles County. There's a dribbler to the third baseman. He cannot field it, and that's going to go as a base hit for Miguel Hayes. So Giles County off to a fast start.
Of course, Giles County got here in the World Series by fortune of Lawrence County hosting this event this year. All they had to do was win their state championship.
That's it. Just win state.
Just win state. That's all you got to do. Easier said than done, right?
Exactly. So
they accomplished that. They went over to East Tennessee, won their state, and here they are. Didn't have to go to the Southeast Regional, which was won by Sarasota, Florida.
We are underway.
And by the way, Sarasota hosted the Southeast Regional.
Oh, okay.
This year, so yeah. But they are a very, very good ball club.
Well, pitching for Sarasota right now, he has already allowed one hit, is Nick Saranzik, lanky lefty. And we've got a pickoff move, and Miguel Hayes is going to be out at second base. Caught stealing.
He was kind of in that area of in between on the pickoff move. He really couldn't go back to first. He'd got too big of a lead, and so he took off for second. He was kind of in between going back and going to second. He didn't really hesitate. He was just in that gray area, so he took off, and he was thrown out.
1-0 count. Nobody on, no score. Top of the first inning. as Sam Hatfield, third baseman for Giles County. As you can see, a nifty, well-executed play from Sarasota team.
Yeah.
Getting Miguel Hayes out at second there. I wonder if there's any relation to Willie Mays Hayes.
We've talked about that before. Where are you going? About 60 feet or 90 feet, whatever it is. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
2 balls, 1 strike. That ball is on the outside part of the plate, but not a strike. 3-1. 1 away. We're live at Tom Cruise Field in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, on the X Sports Radio Network, X Sports TV, and WKSR Radio. And we're happy to bring you this broadcast of the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. And that is a base on balls for Sam Hatfield. One away.
And I believe Sarasota was in the World Series last year. They were in the 14-year-old World Series they were the Florida champions, so they are very accustomed to being here.
Check on first. Hatfield's back.
And if you can hear it coming through our mics, whenever the pickoff move starts, you hear the entire crowd and the entire team for Giles County yell back, telling him to get back. Of course, stealing is legal here at the Babe Ruth level.
That ball is in the dirt, well blocked by the catcher from Sarasota. Ben McCabe, the catcher for Sarasota.
Sarasota had a kid that was the all-tournament team last year, but he's not here this year. He's not on the team.
Another check on Hatfield. He's safe. So the sun is pretty much set here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
It's a great night.
It is a great night.
The wind is laid down.
We got a little relief from the heat as well this evening. I don't think it's going to last, though.
I don't either. If you're not familiar with this part of the country, we get every kind of weather imaginable. We get the snow in the winter. We get the hot, humid.
The sweltering heat.
Oh, my gosh. It's just everything about it. We get every kind of weather the United States has to offer.
The 1-1 is hit back through the middle. First and second for Giles County.
Very good piece of hitting. And, Kevin, the Giles County team, the kind of rumblings in the inner Babe Ruth circles have been they don't deserve to be here. Just because, the same way with Lawrence County. They're saying it about it. They don't deserve it. They didn't go all the way through it. They didn't play as many tournaments. They're not going to be ready. I've talked to some of these Giles County players and coaches. They hear it, but they're out tonight to prove we belong to be here because this is a very tough draw first game, and they're coming out to make a statement.
Max Jett now batting for Giles County, the cleanup hitter. He's got some ducks on the pond. First and second, 1 out. Top of the first inning, no score.
That's a really cool last name, Jett.
He's got a cool name overall, Max Jett.
It just sounds
right
like he's destined to be famous
exactly.
at some point in his life. With a name like that, you've got to be, right?
Count evens up at 1-1. And ball's outside.
His player profile says that George Jones is his favorite artist.
He is a dandy.
Of course, George Jones passed away here. Been within the last year, I guess, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty recent.
I mean, you don't see too many young kids that list. I've seen a lot of rap artists on here on their player profiles so far. And, I've seen a few country guys, but, man, he's going way back. George Jones, how about that?
Yeah, for a kid this age, that is going back, isn't it? For a guy like me, that's not too far.
That's not that bad, no. Of course, we're in the land of country music.
There's a low strike call.
I don't know about that one.
2-2.
I don't think Max liked it too well either. Mad Max, that's what I'm going to call him. They didn't list any nicknames on this one.
No, they don't have any nicknames listed for Max. I mean, with a name like Max Jett, what else do you need?
That's right. Mad Max, I guess, would be the only other one.
Full up, 3-2.
We're about 80 miles south of Nashville, of course, where all the country music takes place, and it's an hour and 15-minute drive from here. It's not too far.
That ball is lifted out of play.
The net did its job there.
Yeah, and slings it back into the field, but they'll throw in another ball either way.
Of course, a lot of the teams flew into Nashville International Airport, then was bused down here for the World Series. Teams are staying all over. They're staying up in Columbia. I think some may be actually in Pulaski, staying in Florence and Lawrenceburg. There's probably 4,000 or 5,000 people here tonight between the two fields.
And that's another walk. Max Jett will take his base, and we've got bases loaded. One away, top of the first inning, Giles County threatening.
That is the second baseman, Mac Young, number 30.
And if you're watching us on TV, there's a fan in this shot, and you can see it. It's spraying mist out behind it. It's one of those
Oh, yeah, one of those cool fans.
cool fans. We need that right here.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, but hey, anytime there can be cooler, I'll take it.
And if you're looking at that shot still and you see the fan, you'll see me slapping on top of Cam's head.
Yeah.
You need a haircut.
I do. It's getting a little bit of a stub there. But, yeah, you can see us in that shot very well. I'm sorry, by the way, that you have to look at me the rest of the
That's
night.
okay.
In that shot. There we go. We swapped from that shot. So we're good.
Nick Saranzik in trouble early here, giving up 2 walks and a base hit already for Sarasota. Got bases loaded, 1 away, top of the first, no score yet, but Giles County is threatening as Mac Young
And part of
comes
our
up to bat.
Brad Nielsen State Farm Insurance recap from the game on the other field earlier. Had a no-hitter. Connecticut run ruled Wisconsin, and it was the 18th no-hitter in Babe Ruth World Series history. So congratulations to those guys. That was a really cool game. Had 2 awesome games to start the day off with.
Mac Young is the second baseman, and he comes up to bat with bases loaded, 1 away. That ball is high. Saranzik struggling early here.
We've got a radar gun over here to our side that I'm trying to keep an eye on. We didn't have one earlier. I can't hardly read it. May have to ask for a look at that in a minute.
And another one outside. Saranzik having difficulty finding the strike zone. 2 balls, no strikes. If you're Giles County coaches, you're saying, hey, take till you get a strike.
That's right. There's only 1 out. Bases loaded.
That one's in there for a strike, 2-1.
They've consistently called the balls in the lower or pitches, the strikes in the lower half of the strike zone. That's been pretty consistent throughout both games that we've seen.
Here's the 2-1. And another strike finds the outside corner.
They were very generous strike zones, which, as long as they're consistent, I don't think anybody's going to complain at all.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. As long as you're consistent with your strikes, that's awesome.
The 2-2 is lined to first base, and that is going to turn into a double play. Snared by the first baseman, and he steps on the base and gets 2 down, and they're ending that threat right there. No score after a half inning. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on X Sports Radio, X Sports TV, and WKSR.
Develop a strong, clean, healthy body, mind, and soul. Develop a strong urge for sportsmanlike conduct. Develop understanding of and respect for the rules. Develop courage in defeat, tolerance and modesty in victory. Develop control over emotions and speech. Develop into real, true citizens.
At the Babe Ruth League, we are not only developing the next generation of ball players, we are developing the next generation.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
And we are back at the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Sarasota gets out of the first inning jam with a double play, a line shot to first base. Let's run over the starting lineup for Sarasota really quick. Batting first is Tommy Hubbard. He is also playing second base. They are playing with an extra player, Robbie Vassallo. Ben McCabe is batting third. He is catching. Stephen Wilmer is the center fielder, and he will bat fourth. Batting fifth is DJ McCarty. He's the shortstop. Seth Shore playing third base. Chase Doyle, then Sebi Hazard, short for Sebastian. Nick Saranzik is pitching, and finally batting last is Christian Gardner playing left field. And Tommy Hubbard will be starting things off for Sarasota, and pitching now to Sarasota to start the ball game for Giles County is Andrew Morgan. And Andrew's first pitch is fouled out of play.
Giles County wearing the Tennessee orange with the white stripes, very similar to Lawrence County, what they're wearing. Of course, being representative of Tennessee, both teams. But they do have very similar jerseys. Lawrence County has the white hats, except Giles County has the white hats. Lawrence County has the orange hats. Very reminiscent of an old school Tennessee Volunteers baseball uniform. Very cool looking. I know as a Razorbacks fan, you're not very much appreciative.
Sarasota with the navy blue jerseys and the red numbers, and the classic looking long pants, white with the navy blue pinstripes.
I'm a fan of pinstripes. I'm not a fan of Yankees, but I do like, remember the old Reds uniforms? Some of them had pinstripes on them.
That ball is foul tipped to even up the count, 2-2. We are on the bottom of the first inning, no score. Sarasota is batting against Giles County, Tennessee. And 2015 Babe Ruth World Series, game number 2 underway. It's a beautiful night for baseball. And that ball is inside, and it tips him on his left elbow, and Hubbard will take first base, hit by pitch.
We've seen that a couple times, a couple guys getting out, trying to get out of the way. And, of course, one of the big runs in the game earlier today was bases loaded, hit by pitch, and he didn't move. He may have actually leaned into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But here, obviously you don't want to get hurt. But in a big situation like we had earlier, it don't matter where that ball's coming. You're going to take the hit.
1 on, no outs.
Might have been a little bit of a pitch up.
As Robbie Vassallo comes to bat. Beautiful weather for baseball, as I mentioned. This weather forecast brought to you by Martin Methodist College, paving the path to success for thousands of graduates since 1870. Beautiful clear night, 75 degrees in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee for our second game on Tom Cruise Field.
I bet those in Sarasota listening to us tonight and maybe tuning in online, I bet they wish they had 75 degrees. I bet it's pretty scorching there.
I lived in South Florida for 10 years, and it is sweltering.
That humidity. Mm-hmm. Daily rain shower.
There's the 2-0, now 3-0.
In the middle of the first inning on the field over beside us, quick scoring update. Lawrenceburg leads that one 3-0.
Off to a fast start. As they play you could call them their rival from a couple of years ago. They lost to the World Series, the 13-year-old World Series to Fargo. Who was it they played?
It was in North Dakota,
in
Willingston. Fargo. They lost it to El Segundo.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. The California team.
Yep. But you're right though. The North Dakota teams are very good. They had two teams in that World Series as well, and they were very strong teams, both of them.
Runner goes. Throw down to second is high, and he is safe. Stealing second, Tommy Hubbard.
You got to keep those runners on. Keep them honest. He was going all the way. Sarasota is a very, very good ball team. They're very small ball oriented. They do the things the right way. They're not real flashy.
That ball is ripped down the left field line, just foul.
Wow.
That's close.
It was close. Caught a break there. Did East Tennessee, Giles County. I'm so used to saying when I say we do Bobcat football games together over in Giles County, and they're black and gold, or they have the gold uniform or whatever in the Bobcats, and so used to seeing the orange out here and saying Giles County is a little foreign to me right now.
Yeah. Check on the runner at second is wild throw, and now Hubbard will advance to third. Costly mistake by Giles County.
That definitely a throwing area.
Runner on third, nobody out. Top of the first, or bottom of the first inning.
People walking over trying to give us scoring updates, and they don't realize we can't hear through these headphones. We can hear each other. That's about it, Kevin. We can hear the crack of the bat.
And that ball is.
I think he leaned into it. I think they're telling him he leaned into it. Maybe not.
And Vassallo's going to take his base. He was hit by the pitch. But, yeah, you're right. He didn't make a huge attempt to get out of the way.
I think he just gave him a warning possibly, and I think he's going to warn both teams here possibly.
That's the right thing to do.
I'm not – yeah, I think it is. I think as long as you're fair. The Giles County coach is out obviously arguing that.
Giles County had a player reach on a hit by pitch, and he didn't make an obvious attempt to get out of the way. So maybe he gave him one each.
Maybe you're right. Very, very, very possible. Of course, Giles County now is in a peculiar situation with runners at the corner.
As Ben McCabe comes to bat. McCabe takes the first ball. 1 ball, no strikes. No score. Bottom of the first inning. The 1-0. That ball is inside. And Vassallo steals second.
So, again, we know that's a situation to where it's very risky to make that throw down to second base if you're Giles County on that steal. You got runners at the corners, no outs. That usually the runner at third heads home when you throw to second.
And that ball is blasted into right field. Underneath it, though, is the right fielder for Giles County. Makes the play, makes the out, but a runner will tag and score. Sarasota is on the board, 1-0. So Ben McCabe with a sacrifice fly scoring the runner. Tommy Hubbard.
Was that some cowbells I heard in the stands from Sarasota?
I'm telling you, I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
The classic Saturday Night Live.
I had to.
Yeah, you had to do it, man.
It's like anytime you mention cowbell.
Yeah.
I know, but that'll be the last time. That's it. Even if you ask me, even if you beg, I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it.
I might do my Harry Carey later, though. I was going to do my Harry Carey earlier today when you were talking about the sun and being in the player's eyes. He's got a funny bit where he went on a rant about a player from the Dominican Republic that plays in the sunshine 365 days a year, but he can't make a catch because of the sun. That was my Harry Carey is horrible. But
Johnny Bench did a Harry Carey last night.
Did he really?
He's kind of known for that, yeah.
I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah.
By the way, if you missed it or if you want some memorabilia photographs, you can get some Johnny Bench photographs at the Mac Brown tent here at the Lawrenceburg Stadium, our ball complex, as souvenirs.
Good pitch.
That is Stephen Wilmer batting now for Sarasota, the cleanup hitter. 0 balls, 1 strike. Florida up early.
Wilmer's a big kid.
That ball's thrown way outside. Wild pitch Nice job gobbling it up there. The catcher for Giles County, Dylan Carmen. He does a good job of keeping the ball in play enough to keep the runner from scoring.
We've seen a couple pitchers thus far in this tournament struggle just a little bit at the first of games, kind of keeping their composure a little bit. It is a big stage. Some of these kids may not be quite accustomed to such large crowds and things of that nature. So we've seen some pitchers that maybe a tad bit nervous.
Sure.
And it takes a minute for them to settle in. And I think that's what we're witnessing here. The Giles County coach has been out and tried to, calm him down. And told, look, Andrew, you're our number one starter for a reason. Just keep your head in it.
Wilmer, the big lefty, looks at a strike. 2-2.
Of course, right field is definitely the shortest part of this ballpark, so it very much favors some lefties.
Yeah, down the right field line, 322, straightaway center, 370, and down the left field line, 327, and the field is in excellent shape. Field conditions brought to you by USAFE Car and Truck Rental.
You'll see Daryl and those guys, man. They rent out some great cars. They've provided all the families and coaches, I think, or at least the coaches, with some vehicles for this tournament, and they've been a huge help to put this on this year.
I had a crew of 6 traveling for Memorial Weekend, and got me a nice minivan from USAFE, and it just made the ride so much easier and nicer, and we felt like we were traveling in style.
Yeah, and I've rented several vehicles. Of course, I'm in that industry that we rent a lot of customer vehicles to them, and they are a great company.
Stephen Wilmer reaches.
Right now, Andrew Morgan, Giles County's pitcher, he's not coming over on. He's not sitting on top of the pitches. He's letting it go just a hair early. He's floating them out. He's got to get on top of those pitches.
Runners at first and third. Robbie Vasallo at third. Wilmer at first. 1-0 is our score. Sarasota leading over Giles County. 1-0. There's a good look at a couple of the bigger kids playing ball. A couple of big boys there at first base.
It is.
There's a shot into left center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Vasallo scores. And on to third is Stephen Wilmer.
That was a really well hit ball there for Sarasota.
2-0. Sarasota leading over Giles County, bottom of the first inning.
Batter is the extra player, number 5, Seth Shore.
Seth Shore now batting for Sarasota. Now, the PA announcer called him the extra player, but I show him on my starting lineup playing third.
And I'm going to guess that is correct.
Okay.
just by what we have.
Yeah, we've got the lineup written from the coaches. It's a good look right there.
And here's
Seth.
something you don't see every day. And he lists Brooks Robertson as his favorite player.
Wow.
How about that?
So there you go. He's kicking it back to an old-school third baseman, and he plays third base.
There's a lot of old souls still out there with some of these kids, and I like that.
Yeah.
Like George Jones, favorite artist earlier. Of course, he's an FSU fan, and for all you back in Florida, I apologize. Good school. Obviously got a great athletics program at Florida State University. Had some friends that attended Florida State. There used to be in a band called Creed.
Oh. A lot of you have heard of the band Creed, I'm sure.
So I get to dish out a lot of FSU hate every once in a while, but being a Tennessee fan, I get it right back 99% of the time. Of course, they don't play each other, but once in '98, I don't know if you guys remember that. Luckily, they don't play each other too much, and I don't get to hear from
There's a shot to the second baseman. Will be handled for an out, but another run will score. That is Wilmer coming in to score. 3-0 is the tally right now. Sarasota leading Giles County in the bottom of the first with 2 away.
Batters the first baseman, number 15, Chase
And
Doyle.
DJ McCarty advances on to third base on that play. 1 runner on. And that ball is lined to the shortstop and snared for the third out.
Timed it perfectly. Great play.
3 hits in the first inning for Sarasota and 3 runs. Sarasota leads Giles County 3-0 after 1 inning. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You got to come see Story and Lee.
3-0 is our score. Sarasota, Florida leading over Giles County, Tennessee in the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Kevin Kilpatrick along with Cam Mashburn. We appreciate you joining us on the Exports Radio Network, Exports TV, and WKSR Radio.
And for those of you watching online, the BRN in the bottom of the screen, that stands for Babe Ruth Network. That's something that we are a part of for this tournament, obviously being the Babe Ruth World Series. We are broadcasting on their website as well as xsportsradio.com.
Gibson now batting for Giles County. His first time at bat facing Saranzac.
So the good thing is if you're listening online or listening on your radio and you've got a smartphone or a tablet nearby, just get into Exports Radio and you can watch our live YouTube stream, as well as Exports TV online.
Isn't technology great?
It's amazing, man.
That ball's in the dirt. Saranzac struggling to find the strike zone.
Of course, if you plan on coming here for the rest of the tournament, we've got DVDs of every game, $30 a piece, $150 for the entire tournament. If you're not going to be able to make it but still want to purchase it, contact somebody here, and I'm sure we can get you in touch with someone to get you hooked up with some DVDs of your favorite team.
Gibson will take first base with a walk. Giles County finished their last at bat with bases loaded on a double play, so we'll see if they're able to execute here in the top part of the second inning. 3-0 is our score. As Dallin Harris comes to the dish.
Giles County's got the old school's type socks. They got the stockings. They got the socks, and they got that, what do they call them, the stirrups? What do you call those?
Stirrups.
Stirrups on over underneath it. I hadn't seen those in many, many years.
And they are the official stirrups, too. It's not the fake stirrups that are kind of sewn into the regular socks.
Those are the real deals.
Those are the real deal. You got to respect that. That's a good look at it right there.
Yeah, there we go.
That's perfect right there.
That's the real thing.
And that ball is in there for a strike, 1-1.
I had those when I was a kid. I don't remember what age I was playing. By the time I got up into Babe Ruth in high school, we had long since done away with the stirrups.
Well, I still remember playing with those when I was
that was the thing.
Playing Little League and all through high school.
That was the thing to do. And, of course, the pants, the long pants didn't really become popular until maybe the early 2000s. And then you started seeing the pants come about. I remember I had the socks up to the knees, man.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss right there. That wind has really died down this afternoon. It was gusting probably close to 20 miles an hour at times. That ball is tipped back. But tonight, virtually no breeze at all.
No, there's not. And the flags are sitting still. Moving every once in a while, kicking up a little bit, but we can't feel anywhere we're at, that's for sure. And it's not going to be enough to affect any kind of balls hitting the outfield. And today, Kevin, it was knocking the balls down quite a bit as they were hit.
We might see some long shots tonight with no wind.
Well. Yeah.
Harris at the dish, 1-2 is the count. 3-0 our score. Sarasota is leading over Giles County, Tennessee. And that ball is lifted out of play. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Or excuse me, top of the second inning.
Dallin Harris's favorite baseball player.
Yasiel Puig?
Yeah, Yasiel Puig is one of them, but he also lists Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
There's a lot of old souls here.
Yes, there are.
Bo Jackson. I've seen a couple kids in their profiles this weekend that has listed Bo Jackson as their favorite player. I think that's pretty neat. Bo knows.
Count evened up at 2.
Favorite professional team is the L.A. Dodgers. It's unusual for these parts.
I don't know about all that.
L.A. Dodgers. Of course, the L.A.'s having a great year.
Quick check on Gibson at first base. A threat to steal. No outs. Top of the second inning. And there we go. He's off and running, and he is going to be safe. That throw down to second was high, but he was looks like he beat it anyway.
Yeah, I think he was there anyway. He had got a good jump from first, and he was off to the races. I think that throw was pretty much in vain.
Full count for Dallin Harris, but he's got a runner in scoring position now as they try to cut down this 3-0 lead against Florida.
Batters number 23, the pitcher, Andrew Morgan.
That ball is in the dirt, blocked nicely. Catcher for Sarasota is getting quite the workout. Ben McCabe showing some good technique back there.
Learned a thing or two from Johnny Bench. Funny story after this pitch. Johnny Bench, one of the funny stories. He didn't tell it last night, but Sparky Anderson was his manager in Cincinnati, and he was thinking about trading for a knuckleballer. I don't remember the knuckleballer's name. And he went and asked Johnny, "What do you think about it?" He said, "I think you need a new catcher." Because he wanted out if you're getting a knuckleballer.
See, I'm trying to think. Phil Necro might have been somebody around that era.
It might have been Necro that they were thinking of trading for. I think that is actually who it was. Can you imagine that big red machine with Necro?
Woo.
Wow, they were stout as it was. But yeah, Bench said you're going to need a new catcher.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Of course, I've noticed that there's a lot of high school kids that they're kind of trying to bring that knuckleball back. A lot of kids are being taught that knuckleball at an early age. Saves the arm a little bit, and if you can throw it with accuracy, it's a very effective pitch. That was a good cut. Just didn't contact anything. Runner at second, 1 out. Full count.
Andrew Morgan, the pitcher, batting for Giles County. That ball is low. He'll take a base. Runners on first and second now. 1 away.
And this guy for Giles County, Dylan Carman, he instantly becomes my favorite player on Giles County because his favorite athlete's Joey Votto, Cincinnati Red first baseman. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure me and Dylan could get along real well.
Yep.
I got a Joey Votto jersey. It was used as decoration last night at the banquet that I would love had returned back to my closet ASAP so I could cheer on my Reds and their terrible season.
There's a shot to right field, but camping under it will be Sarasota, recording the second out of the inning.
That brings up the top of the lineup for Giles County.
Giles County still not on the board, 3-0 our score. Sarasota leading over the Tennessee team. But yeah, Miguel Hayes is coming up to bat.
Giles County's left some runners on last inning, and it's thus far this inning they just can't seem to. Again, we've talked about it before. Timely hitting. It's not necessarily getting hits. It's about getting the right hits and the timely hits, and that's exactly what Texas did earlier today. They were just getting the timely outs. They were leaving, loading the bases up and able to get the third out and getting the hit when they needed the hit, getting the walk when they needed the walk, and that's exactly what you've got to do. California, on the other hand, they couldn't quite do that. They couldn't get the hit or the run when they needed to, and ultimately it cost them the game.
The 1-0. And that is taken high, evens the count up, one apiece.
Of course, Giles County is our neighbor here, just the county over from where the World Series is being played at this year.
Little tapper back to the pitcher, and he will toss it on to first base for our third out in the top of the second inning. 3-0 the score. Sarasota leads over Giles County. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on X Sports Radio, X Sports TV, and WKSR.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
We are back live. The 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. 3-0 is our score. Sarasota, Florida leading over Giles County, Tennessee. And it was an explosive, not necessarily explosive, but all those runs put up in the first inning for Sarasota. And they seemed to be right on the ball every time.
They did. And it wasn't necessarily anything Giles County was doing wrong, although I see a couple of errors up on the board for Giles County, or it's just one error. Other than that, it's nothing they really did wrong, Kevin. And it was basically Sarasota just getting the hits. You're going to have walks and stuff like that in the course of the game, and Sarasota definitely took advantage of it.
Right fielder Sebi has it batting now for Sarasota. 1 ball, no strikes, and now the count is even up. 1 apiece as that one is in there for a strike. Sebi's short for Sebastian. Here's the 1-1. And another strike.
Another Yankees fan Derek Jeter, his favorite player.
He's got the pinstripe pants on.
He does. But get this. Man, I love these kids, man. Favorite artist, Aerosmith.
There you go.
How about that? Aerosmith. Heard Aerosmith way back in 2001 with Stone Temple Pilots. Great show.
Count even at 2, and that ball is high. Curveball comes in over the head of Sebastian Hazard.
He struggled a little bit, Andrew has, with that curveball. He's not getting on top on that curveball, and he's kind of hanging it up. Not just a little bit either. It's quite a bit.
Interesting, and he got the K right there.
He got it. Yeah, he did. Very nice pitch, painting that outside corner.
Sebastian Hazard goes down looking. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. 3-0 is our score.
You can tell when he gets over on top of a pitch because he kind of does that whip with his hand. He's kind of when he gets over on top of one, you can see it in his delivery that he gets it right. And that one he got right.
Yes, he did. Had a good look from our camera angle a minute ago as he was ready to throw that pitch. As he is in his windup, he is still twirling the ball in his glove.
He is still twirling the ball. You're exactly right. And, of course, that's our static camera, and we can't get a zoom in on it, but he is definitely moving that ball around as he's in his windup.
Yeah, you see it right there if you're watching us on Exports TV. There's a strike. Now he's finding the strike zone.
Yeah, that was a great curveball there. That was right in there. See if he comes back with another curve or might throw a two-seam fastball or something down the end. No curve.
This is his counterpart now batting, Saranzak, the pitcher for Sarasota at the plate. 1 away here in the bottom of the second inning.
Of course, in the game early today with Texas, the pitcher for Texas was throwing a lot of breaking balls. Almost every pitch was a curveball.
That one's right down the middle, and it is ripped into right center field. That is going to fall down. Saranzak thinks about 2, thinks better of it, and it will fall for a single.
I don't know if that was a curveball that just hung up or if it was just a fastball that he was setting on. I'm assuming it was a fastball that his counterpart on the other side was just setting on.
Yeah, that just came right down the middle.
It did, and I think he was just setting on that. He was setting on the fastball. He kind of had it in his mind that was coming, and he was all over it.
Left fielder Christian Gardner now batting for Sarasota. There's a ball on the outside part of the plate. 1-0.
Another breaking ball.
A check on the runner. What are some of the keys to this game? I mean, of course, it's get some hits, and Giles County needs to put some runs together.
Yeah, the keys to the game tonight are brought to you by Williams Auto Sales and Auto Credit. Next time if you're looking for a car or truck, go see Bobby or Raleigh for your next set of keys. And I know those guys personally, great guys to buy a car from, vehicle from. But the keys tonight are basically don't make any errors, hit the ball, and keep your composure, especially your pitchers. It's timely hitting, and we've mentioned it before. And that's the biggest thing. You've seen a couple pitchers already today in some of the games, get a little upset, if they load the bases on, and things like that, and they just kind of lose their composure a little bit. You can't do that. You got to stay on top of it. You got to keep your cool and just do your thing.
1 ball, 1 strike to Christian Gardner. 1 away here in the bottom of the second inning. Sarasota leading 3-0 over Giles County. And they have Nick Saranzak, who just singled on first base.
Of course, all of our replays tonight online, if you're watching us on X Sports TV online, is brought to you by Vision Center Replay, or Vision Center. They're called the Vision Center Replays. We will get some of those from time to time.
And there is a bunt laid down by Gardner, and it is a beauty. And he is safe.
Wow.
It was designed to be a sacrifice, but he beat it out for a base hit. Runners on first and second.
Might have surprised Giles County just a little bit. It's like Dylan Carmen didn't quite get out of there in time to really get on top of it behind the plate. It was an excellent bunt, though. You got to credit the Sarasota player. That was an excellent, excellent bunt.
Back to the top of the lineup. Tommy Hubbard now batting. And that ball hits him. Bases will be loaded. Couldn't get out of the way of that one. That was coming in too hot. But he's fine. He will take first base. Tommy Hubbard hit by pitch. And we've got bases loaded. All of a sudden.
Wow.
Giles County in trouble again.
Batters the third baseman, number 21, Robbie Vasallo.
Robbie Vasallo is now on bat, and he hit a rope to left center earlier. I believe ended up in a double, if I'm not mistaken. Don't want that here if you're Giles County.
Vasallo also scored in the first inning. Takes that ball high, 1-0.
Curveball that stayed up. He lists Mike Trout as his favorite player, and the Florida Gators as his favorite professional or college team. How about that? I bet there's a lot of Gator fans on this Sarasota team.
Now, see, that lines up with what you would expect from 15-year-olds. You know, Mike Trout, young ball player, Florida Gators, team from your home state.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. His favorite sports other than baseball are football and lacrosse.
Lacrosse?
I bet there's not a lot of his counterparts on the Giles County side that play lacrosse.
Probably not.
Not in this part of the country.
That ball's taken outside.
Tommy Hubbard over on first base, who was just hit by that pitch. He's a hockey fan. I can relate to that. Not too many hockey fans in this area. Of course, Sarasota being very close to Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Lightning are in that area, so I'm assuming he's a Bolts fan.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the great Tommy Esposito is from that area, and I think there's an Esposito on this team, or maybe it was one of the other teams, but I believe it was one of the other teams.
That ball is in there for a strike, 3-1 now. To Vasallo. That's right down the middle, foul tipped right back at our screen.
A full count.
How was your sandwich earlier?
Man.
What'd you have?
Prime rib.
Prime rib. Okay.
I had two of those bad boys.
Did you?
Yeah. At $9 a pop. Absolutely. I don't know. It was.
Hey, that's a ballpark value right there.
$7 or $8 a pop. Man, it was incredible.
Something like that big portion at a major league park would be, $15 probably.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is better than Major League ballpark food. I love ballpark food, don't get me wrong. But this was better. And this was being grilled or smoked right here on. And every night they're going to have something different. Tonight it was prime rib. Tomorrow night it's brisket. So, man, we're going to get fat before this is over with.
Gonna.
That's true. Good point.
Count is full, and that ball is chopped to the shortstop. On to second for one. On to first. Not in time. The ball gets past first base, and another run will score for Sarasota. 4-0. That's going to be an error.
And down at the first baseline, Vasallo come up, kind of fell over the bag a little bit. He's gingerly walking back to first now, but I believe he's going to stay in the game.
Vasallo reaches on a fielder's choice.
You can see him there. He's okay, I believe. He may have just tweaked it just a little bit. We were talking to some of the coaches before the game, and one of them told me, he said, these kids need to realize there's a difference between being uncomfortable and being in pain. I think he's uncomfortable after that. There is a difference.
And there's the first pitch to McCabe, and it lands in there for a strike.
If you play sports long enough, you're going to be uncomfortable at some point.
Exactly.
With something. There's no question.
Two away here in the bottom of the second inning. Florida now leads 5-0.
Again, Giles County they got a really, really difficult draw in this first game. Sarasota, of course, was in the World Series last year. Very, very fine ball club.
Backhanded by the shortstop, makes the short throw to second for the final out. And that's how we're going to end The bottom of the second with a couple of runs on the board for Sarasota, putting our score at 5-0 Sarasota over Giles County in the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Develop a strong, clean, healthy body, mind, and soul. Develop a strong urge for sportsmanlike conduct. Develop understanding of and respect for the rules. Develop courage in defeat, tolerance and modesty in victory. Develop control over emotions and speech. Develop into real, true citizens.
At the Babe Ruth League, we are not only developing the next generation of ball players, we are developing the next generation.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Cincinnati, great city. We're talking about different ballparks from around the country. Of course, we're here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, home of the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series as we get set for the top of the third. Sarasota, Florida, leading over Giles County, Tennessee, 5-0. And, Tennessee has really struggled with their pitching right now. Florida taking advantage of some mistakes, some walks, some hit-by pitches. But Tennessee is going to try to get back in this game right here in the top of the third.
Absolutely, and as we saw with Texas earlier today, you can put up 5 to 7 runs in a heartbeat. And so this game's not over by a long shot.
Sam Hatfield at the dish takes the first pitch for a strike.
We were talking about the Reds. Of course, Cincinnati is where they hosted the All-Star game this year, and talking about different cities. This area is just a hodgepodge for who your favorite major league team is. You're a Cardinals fan.
Yes.
There's Braves fans everywhere. There's Reds fans. Not many. Although there was probably more with Johnny Bench here last night, or claimed to be.
I would say it's pretty close between the Cardinals and Braves in this area, maybe leaning a little more towards the Braves.
It probably is. It probably is.
You'd be surprised at how many Yankees fans are in this area. There's a lot, but not like Braves fans. But
no, and it's just because they were good.
Yeah.
It's just like.
There's a shot into right field from Sam Hatfield. Some positivity for the Giles County team. He reaches with a base hit to right.
That was a very nice hit. Going opposite way.
Take what the pitcher gives you.
Absolutely. You just mentioned, the professional teams, kind of like the college team. There's a lot of Tennessee fans, but it's predominantly, there is Alabama fans here just because they've been good. And you see that a lot, no matter where you're at. You see right now you got a lot of L.A. Dodger fans out there, especially these kids. They're growing up, and, they're kind of trying to find who they like and who they are. And, it's whatever team's good at the time. And growing up, for me, it was the 90 Reds. That was the good team. And I fell in love with the Nasty Boys. And, of course, I was a Braves fan at times growing up. I was a messed up child living in between the two cities.
Blade Matthews now batting for Giles County. No balls, 1 strike. He rips that to third base between the legs of the third baseman for Sarasota. So Matthews will reach in. They'll probably score that an error. Yes, they do already.
Yeah.
So Giles County threatening now. Runners on first and second, and nobody out here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, that was they quickly put that error up. That was right between the legs. I didn't quite get down on it. That's the second time we've seen that today, obviously in the earlier game. I wonder if the ball may be bouncing a little funny off the grass or something there, something that's kind of throwing these players off a little bit.
Could be. I tell you, Seth Shore, the Sarasota third baseman, he was squared up to it, but it was ripped pretty hard.
It was. It was
just went through the wickets.
Yeah, absolutely. And, give Blade a lot of credit for that when he really laid the wood, but they're aluminum bat. So
Saranzik deals. Strike.
again, it's a pretty wide strike zone, but he's staying consistent with it.
Yeah, he's calling that outside strike.
He is calling that outside strike the low strike. That was looked more low than it did outside from my vantage point.
Max Jett with a 1-1 count, and that ball is low. 2 balls, 1 strike now.
And we both agree that Max has the best name on the field.
Ben McCabe doing a great job at backstop, blocking that one for Sarasota.
Some history about Giles County, of course. Sam Davis, is that right?
Oh yeah,
Sam Davis is buried in there, and from the area, you know, it had a lot of. There's a Sam Davis Park there where the high school plays and the baseball stadium is. Of course, Martin Methodist College is over there, one of our sponsors. Very historical campus.
And Max Jett is going to reach on a walk. Bases loaded for Giles County.
Wow.
Nobody out.
And what we're just saying, it can change just like that. I mean, let's see what happens. And Sarasota's going to make a visit to the mound, kind of try to calm their pitcher down here. And back on Giles County, it's a very historical area. A lot of Civil War things were there. A lot of Southern plantations were there. And, when you think about the South, you think of antebellum homes and older houses. Lawrence County doesn't really have that. And if you're coming into the area for the weekend, you may be wanting to see something like that. Well, Lawrence County doesn't have it. We have Amish, which is it was interesting in all of itself. But Giles County has those antebellum homes in their downtown area, and some of them are kept up pretty nice. And they have a lot of, of course, you've got the Milky Way Farm, which the Mars family owned, right north of Pulaski. And that's a really, really awesome area. It's really huge.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It is. I mean, Giles County is probably the best Tennessee has to offer as far as its landscape. It is a beautiful county.
Bases loaded here in the top of the 3rd inning. Giles County trailing 5-0, but they are threatening. Nobody out. And coming to the dish is Mac Young.
It's funny because as soon as you cross the Lawrence County-Giles County line, it instantly becomes the rolling Tennessee hills that you're familiar seeing the pictures of over in Giles County. Lawrence County is relatively flat compared to Giles County.
Mac lined out to first his first time up.
I've always dreamed of having a farm in Giles County. I haven't quite got there yet. But
what are you going to grow?
What am I going to grow, man? I got to grow up at some point. Grow me some corn and some soybeans. There's a lot of that over there.
Shoot, yeah. There's a called strike. Even the count, 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a shot into center field, and it will drop in for a base hit. Giles County will be on the board with 1, and they will stop there. So a single drives and a run. Mac Young with an RBI.
Mac's another Bo Jackson fan. doing a very good job there.
Sam Hatfield scoring that run for Giles County. 5-1 is our score, and still no outs here in the top of the 3rd inning.
And Giles County, that was their 4th hit of the night. That's actually more hits than Sarasota has. Even though Sarasota has 5 runs, they only have 3 hits.
And the coaches make a visit to the mound, and they will make a pitching change, and we'll take a quick break. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Farm Bureau of Tennessee in Lawrence and Giles County. Call Farm Bureau today and get your insurance checkup. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Develop a strong, clean, healthy body, mind, and soul. Develop a strong urge for sportsmanlike conduct. Develop understanding of and respect for the rules. Develop courage in defeat, tolerance and modesty in victory. Develop control over emotions and speech. Develop into real, true citizens.
At the Babe Ruth League, we are not only developing the next generation of ball players, we are developing the next generation.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
We're back at the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Giles County is trailing 5-1, but they are threatening with bases loaded here in the top of the third inning. And we have a new pitcher out there for Sarasota. And this call to the bullpen, again, brought to you by Farm Bureau of Tennessee in Lawrence and Giles County. Call Farm Bureau today and get your insurance checkup. And now pitching,
Dalton Platter.
Dalton Plattner is pitching for Sarasota, and his first pitch is delivered in there for a strike.
Shortstop, number 25, Bruce Gibson.
That one's right down the middle, and it's ripped into left field for a base hit. Giles County scores another run.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. It can change. Don't give up. Keep fighting. That's exactly what Giles County is doing. And they have put up another run.
Bryce Gibson with an RBI single for Giles County.
I want to give a shout out real quick to the McCabe's listening in Sarasota, Florida. Family here at the ballpark say hello. Come over and asked us if we would give you guys a shout out. They are listening from Sarasota, Florida. Their son is the catcher here, Ben.
Yeah, I was just talking about a little while ago that, Ben's doing a great job at backstop. Good technique blocking those balls in the dirt.
We've got people listening all over the world tonight and watching us online on xsportsradio.com. You can watch both games going on here tonight.
Yeah, if you are by chance listening on the TuneIn Radio app and you want to watch the game, you can go to xsportsradio.com, and right there on the main page you'll have a link that you can click to watch the telecast.
That was a nasty cutter.
5-2 is our score. And there's a chopper in between first and pitcher, and the pitcher misses it. First baseman catches it, but he has nowhere to go. Giles County with another run. That is an RBI single, infield single from Dallin Harris.
Looks like the Giles County team's getting a little bit of a warning for the players coming out from the home plate umpire. He didn't like the enthusiasm that the orange team was showing there. Just giving them a quick little warner. Hey, stay back. Nothing wrong with that. It's all about excitement in this game.
5-3 is our score in the top of the third inning. Coming to the dish is Andrew Morgan.
As we saw earlier tonight, when the kid from California, Plattner's kind of inherited a mess here. He's kind of in the same boat as the guy earlier tonight. He's got come in with the bases loaded, no outs. He has got a lot of movement on the tail end. I can't tell if that's a two-seamer that's tailing away or if that's some sort of cutter, but he's a lefty, and he has got that moving away from the right-handed hitter.
Andrew Morgan down 0-2 quickly.
That is a nasty pitch.
That ball is up for a ball. 1-2. Still no outs here in the top of the third. Giles County is cutting down this lead. 5-3 is our score. Sarasota still in the lead. Swung on and missed. And he will go down swinging. That is out number one for Giles County in the top of the third.
That pitch is nasty, Kevin. I don't know if you're able to see this at home for those of you watching us online. And I hope we're doing a great job explaining it to those listening on radio, because that's filthy.
Carmen now batting for Giles County. That ball is inside.
Quick update from the North Dakota Lawrence County Tennessee game. Of course, Lawrence County is the host team. 6-0, Lawrence County. I don't have an inning. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to this one, probably the fourth or so. We're in the bottom of the third here. Top of the third, top of the third.
Dylan Carmen batting for Giles County. Takes that pitch for a strike.
Again, they're letting that outside strike be called. He's being consistent with it. Those pitches are, if you were calling a tight strike zone, those would be balls.
There's a chopper back through the middle, and it gets through for a base hit. Giles County scores one more. And then the center fielder or shortstop wings it over the head of the catcher. Either way, Giles County staying put with the bases remaining loaded, but they do get one more across. 5-4 is our score.
Just another C&I single. I mean, that's what Giles County has done since they got the bases loaded. It's been C&I single after C&I single, and it's just one run at a time. It's not anything fancy. And Sarasota's in a tight spot here. They've got one out, bases loaded, and Giles County's just hitting the gaps and just C&I singles.
Miguel Hayes, top of the lineup, batting now for Giles County. He is the 9th batter to come to the dish in this top of the third inning. One away, 5-4 is our score. Sarasota still leads.
It's a beautiful night here tonight. No humidity.
Oh, perfect for baseball.
About 70 degrees, 75 degrees.
2 balls, no strikes to Hayes.
It's unusual for us to have this at this time of year in Tennessee. So it is very, very nice. It's been nice all day. Beautiful blue skies all day.
That ball is up 3-0.
And I went to some of the practices earlier today, and some of the teams from up north were talking, they aren't quite used to this much sunshine. I'm like somebody told me earlier, I thought it was the same sun for everybody, but apparently not. They weren't used to it as much. They weren't used to some of the heat, so they were kind of going over their players with how to deal with it.
There's a strike. 3-1 to Hayes.
And they were taking an extra time fielding fly balls with the outfielders to get used to looking up into that sky, because certain parts of the country have more clouds typically than we do here. I mean, it was crystal clear skies today, and so they were taking extra time dealing with the sun.
There's a shot to shortstop, on to second for one, on to first, and he is safe. But there's a play at the plate now, coming in to score. Giles County has tied this game up in the top of the third. 5 runs across the plate.
Wow. And while the high catcher for Sarasota was upset with the call, and it was very close. Very close. He was hanging on the ball. The Giles County runner on first took off for second while no one was paying attention to him. And now we get another visit to the mound from the Sarasota coach, and Giles County has come back and taken over the lead.
And Sam Hatfield started this all off with a single, about 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I believe, and we mentioned his family earlier, the McCabe's. I believe he's getting the earful from the Sarasota coach right now. And emotions do get to bed, and trust me, I'm one of them. It definitely does. You can see the replay here.
There's a good look at that play at the plate.
He's under it.
He's under it. It was a close play, but good call by the umpire.
Wow, and that is a Vision Center replay, as you can see online. And I think it's the right call. And and if I'm the catcher, I'm upset because obviously it's hard. From your perspective, you think you've got him, and he just slid under it, and it was really, really close. But I do believe he was safe.
There's a ball lifted into center field. Sam Hatfield flies out to center, and that's how we end the top of the third inning. Giles County plating 6 here in the top of the 3rd inning. My, 6-5, Giles County leading over Sarasota, Florida. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
It's the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Kevin Kilpatrick along with Cam Mashburn. And it's been an exciting game. Lots of offense, 6-5. The Giles County team is leading right now over Sarasota. And
yeah, it's the bottom of the 3rd. This game is not going by very fast. We've already had a pitch and change for Sarasota earlier in that top half of the 3rd. And we saw Texas earlier today swap out a pitcher in the 2nd, which we thought at the time might have been a little bit of a peculiar move, but it ended up working out fantastic for Texas. That was a very good pitch.
6-5 is our score in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Again, Giles County leading over Sarasota, Florida. And Giles County with 7 hits, Florida with 3 hits, 2 errors from Giles County and 1 error for Sarasota. And this game update brought to you by USafe Car and Truck Rental.
Andrew has got he is on top of that curveball now, and that has a lot of movement. That's a hard pitch to hit right there. Oh, and here's the thing. He just got that call a second ago. That couldn't have been an inch or 2 difference. But they called that a ball, so it's 3-1.
Wilmer reaches on a walk. Also walked his first time at bat. One on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
And the game over here beside us, it started, I believe, 30 minutes later than ours. At 8:30, they're in the bottom of the 5th, and it's 6-0 Lawrence County. So this is how slow this game is moving. They may have started that one a little earlier, just because of the break that we have. But they may.
Well, we actually started at 7:52 as our official start time tonight.
Okay.
Which kind of caught us a little bit off guard, frankly. But they're running the show.
That's right. We don't make the rules, Kevin. We play by them.
Exactly.
If they made the rules, we would be playing every game at night with air conditioning sitting all around us.
The runner goes, hit and run on, but that ball is tipped out of play.
And that's going to be dangerous. And there's a lot of fans on that other stadium watching that game, and that was right up in the vicinity of those bleachers. Just when you think you've got the nets tall enough, there's always somebody that can hit it up over them.
DJ McCarty up to bat, had a single and scored a run in the 1st inning.
And it was a rope.
He's now facing an 0-2 count, and he goes down swinging. There you go. There's that breaking pitch from Morgan, and yeah, he might have dialed that in.
He's got it working now. He has got it working.
That's one away here in the bottom of the third inning.
Batters number 5.
Seth Shore coming to the dish.
I wonder if he's any relation to Polly Shore. You don't hear that last name very much. Not at least I haven't. Now in Sarasota, that may be a very, very common name. But Shore is not a name you typically hear. Not a very common last name. I guess Mashburn's not either, or Kilpatrick. There's quite a few Kilpatricks.
Yeah, I'd say there's a bunch of Mashburns in this vicinity.
North Carolina, there's a bunch as well. And
runner goes, throw down to second, not in time.
Stolen base.
So yeah, that's stolen base for Wilmer.
Some good wheels.
As Shore bats, he grounded out to second his first time up.
And yesterday during the skills competition, there was a lot of people commenting on Wilmer and his size for his age. He looked much older than 15 years old, and he's at least 15 anyway. And he is a very, very big kid. His quads are really large for a kid that age, and you can tell he is just built like an athlete.
Fleet of foot as well.
He is.
As he gets his first stolen base of the game.
I believe he competed in the Golden Feet competition. I could be wrong on that, but I believe I remember seeing him do that. Golden Shoes, maybe that's what they were calling it.
Check on second. Wilmer is back safely. There's a good look at Wilmer right there if you're watching this on Exports TV. Athletic-looking kid.
There's a couple of those kids like that from Sarasota that's got those legs and those quads that are built like a baseball player. It's what I call it. I mean, you look at somebody like Simmons at shortstop for the Braves. To me, he just looks like an athlete. He's got that look about him, that strut. There's something to be said about that.
3-0 to Shore. One away here in the bottom of the third inning, 6-5. Giles County leading over Sarasota, Florida. Florida with one man on.
Speaking of the Braves, that's Mr. Wilmer's. That's what he lists as his favorite team. Freddie Freeman, his favorite player. He says he does not have a hobby other than baseball.
That ball's in there for a strike. 3-1. Then Wilmer reached all 3 times on walks.
Good eye. It's a lot of patience. That on-base percentage is a very underrated stat. A lot of people look at the batting average, but that on-base percentage to me is just as important, maybe more important. It's all about getting on base. That's what the name of the game is.
And Seth Shore will now reach with a walk. So we got Shore on first, Wilmer on second, and we're going to have a pitching change, folks. Let's take us a break, and we will talk about the new pitcher coming up in just a second. 6-5 is our score. Giles County leading over Sarasota. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
And welcome back to the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series, where Giles County, the East Tennessee champion, lead the Southeast champion Florida from Sarasota. Florida, 6-5. 2 runners on for Sarasota, and Pulaski. Giles County is making a pitching change. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Farm Bureau of Tennessee in Lawrence and Giles County. Call Farm Bureau today and get your insurance checkup. Coming in to pitch for Giles County is Blade Matthews. He comes in from left field, and I did not see who was his replacement in left field, but I believe it's going to be, I believe it, possibly it might have been Andrew Morgan, the pitcher being pulled that's going out to left field. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, we'll have to get that sorted out, but I heard a triple switch from the umpire.
Triple switch, so I guess that's not it.
There's a right field change. I think Morgan went out to right, and then somebody was brought into left. We'll get that clarified for you here in just a few. But right now, 6-5, again, as our score, as Cam mentioned. We got runners on first and second for Sarasota with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and lots of excitement so far in this ball game. It's been fun to watch.
It has been fun. Giles County, look, they fell behind quickly early, 5-0.
Doyle at the dish, places it between short and third, and coming in to score will be Wilmer. He is fleet of foot. He reminds you of Mike Trout running.
Yes, he did.
He's quick coming around there. So Wilmer scores, and that evens things up at 6 runs each. We are knotted up, folks, here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
This is an exciting game, for sure. And that was Chase Doyle with that RBI to tie the game up. Our Juan Carlos Stanton fan is Chase Doyle. Juan Carlo, of course, the star Miami Marlin player.
He's also called John Carlos Stanton.
Is he John Carlo, Juan Carlo, whatever?
Yeah, John Carlo.
It's spelled a lot different than it's pronounced. At
Yeah,
least in my book.
No kidding. You know, back before he went to his, his name is Giancarlo Mike Stanton, and his first year in the majors, he went by Mike. Well,
that's right, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, people forget about Mike Stanton.
And the pitcher. The Mike Stanton, the old pitcher, yeah.
And so he wanted to, go by his first name, and so, he went to Giancarlo Stanton, of course, who has been injured for the Florida Marlins.
Yeah, took a shot in the face last year.
Yeah, ruined the second half of his season and broke his hand this year from swinging too hard.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
That's some strength.
I wish I had that problem.
And the runner goes, and no throw down there because they don't want to take a chance on Sarasota taking the lead with the runner at third.
Yeah, the pitcher cut that off very quickly, and we've talked about that. That's something that's a very tough deal. I mean, that's a free base essentially at this level of baseball. In major leagues, they've got enough arm strength to make that happen, but at this level, that's a free base.
So Doyle now at second, Seth Shore at third, and has it at the dish. 3-0 is the count.
And Sebastian or Sebi is a Derek Jeter fan. Derek, of course, Derek was a great role model.
That ball's right down the middle, 3-1.
It's got some late action on that. Did you see it? I don't know if it's a slider or a little bit of a two-seamer, possibly a four-seam. But it definitely runs in on the hands a little bit. A lot of late movement on that pitch.
And Blade comes in and walks his first batter faced. Sebastian has it on first. Base is now loaded.
Dalton Platner, excuse me.
Platner, the replacement for Saranzak comes in to bat for the first time.
And his hobby other than baseball is fishing. I bet he could. I'm sure it's some sort of offshore fishing, which is saltwater down in Sarasota, which around here we have a lot of fresh water.
There's a chopper to short, on to second for one. The throw to first, not in time.
Sarasota's going to take the lead here.
7-6 now. Bottom of the third. Seth Shore will score on a fielder's choice.
Of course, one of the best fishing lakes in the country is in the area of the Tennessee River, which has Wheeler Lake, Gunnersville Lake, Wilson Lake, and that very good smallmouth fishing in county and Show Creek, which feeds into the Tennessee River. And if you're a fishing fanatic, this is definitely one of the top areas in the country to come to for that sport.
7-6 is our score. Bottom of the third inning, 2 away. Runners on first and third.
I grew up an outdoorsman, and I don't, deer hunting's big here. That's something you do. And I never really had anything that was, people like to put deer on the walls, things in this area, and I've never been big on necessarily on. I never really killed anything that was worthy of that. But I do have a smallmouth, and that's my prized possession. I caught a 7
Must be hard to eat. See, you said I had. Anyway.
Yeah. It's not the real one. It's a replica. I would never do that. But it's a 7-pound smallie.
Yeah, that's a beast for a smallmouth.
They're a beautiful fish, and if you've never caught a smallmouth, this is definitely a great area for that.
That ball is lifted into shallow center field. Camping underneath it is the second baseman, and he will catch that for the third out for Sarasota. But they have taken the lead, 7-6. We have completed 3 innings. Sarasota leading over Giles County. It's the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Develop a strong, clean, healthy body, mind, and soul. Develop a strong urge for sportsmanlike conduct. Develop understanding of and respect for the rules. Develop courage in defeat, tolerance and modesty in victory. Develop control over emotions and speech. Develop into real, true citizens.
At the Babe Ruth League, we are not only developing the next generation of ball players, we are developing the next generation.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
We're back at the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. This is our night game on opening day. Had some great festivities earlier. The opening ceremonies, of course, the introductory banquet was held last night. Johnny Bench was the keynote speaker. Of course, he came up through the Babe Ruth system. There's a grounder to shortstop. Quickly 1 away for Giles County. It's Blade Matthews grounding out to short as we start the top of the 4th inning. 1 away. And Sarasota has retaken the lead. 7-6 is our score.
Batters number 34, first baseman Max Jett.
Sarasota with 4 hits. Giles County with 7 hits. Giles County with 2 errors. And Sarasota with 1 error. And that's where we are right now. And coming to the dish right now is Max Jett, one of the coolest names that we've heard announced today. Max Jett from Giles County, Tennessee.
I take a little break here in between innings and get hit up to play in the golf tournament. It's part of it, man.
Cam's like a local politician, folks.
You know, when you own your own business, such as we do, me and you both, you kind of have to do the kissing babies routine. You know, I like it. I love talking to people. People are just from all walks of life are very interesting to get to know, and these kids have been really fun to get to know this week.
There's a shot down the left field line. That could be 2 for Max Jett. He is going for 2. Winging it in there, and he is going to be out at second. Wow. Coming up with a gun is Gardner, hosing Max Jett at second base. 2 away here in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, he was sent by his first base coach, and I have a sneaky suspicion they won't send any more on him rest of the game.
On Gardner, man, he came up firing.
Yes,
but I tell you what, as soon as it hit, down the left field line, I'm like, that's a double.
Yeah, it is. And he stuttered maybe a step coming around first that might have slowed him down a hair, but that ball was waiting on him. It wasn't really close.
2 away as Mac Young comes to the dish.
We get the vision replay coming up. You can watch this cannon.
Look at him. He's thinking double the whole way.
He really was. There was a little bit of hiccup there coming around first base, but not much.
And he's there waiting on him.
Just a great throw.
And look at him. He's dejected.
Yeah, he knows it, and it was just a great throw. Good hit, but
There's a grounder to short, on to first, and it is thrown in the dirt, and the first baseman for Sarasota cannot handle it. That is going to go down as an error. It was, Chase Doyle didn't really have a chance on that one.
It's going to be interesting to see who they score that error to. I could see it going either way. It could go with the first baseman or the shortstop.
Yeah, sadly, they're going to, that's Doyle, you could probably ask him, and he'd probably say, yeah, I should have had that.
Yeah.
But the error is going to go on the shortstop.
I think you're right.
Shortstop Bruce Gibson.
And his counterpart, Bruce Gibson, I believe, is up to bat.
Yeah,
now.
Bryce Gibson.
Bryce Gibson, excuse me.
Mac Young reaches on an error.
At this stage of the night, my eyes, after looking up at these lights from our position, and can't really read the writing anymore.
1 on, 2 away for Giles County. 7-6 is our score. Sarasota leading over Giles County here on the top of the 4th inning. Giles County faithful. You got a lot of them on the edge of their seat right now. Making the 17-mile drive over here to Lawrenceburg. And folks from Sarasota had a little bit longer journey.
They did. I bet it's probably closer to 17.
Yeah.
Instead of 17 miles, it's 17 hours.
I tell you what, I have driven to Miami from Lawrenceburg.
Really?
And, yeah. And it took, I want to say it was like 17, 18 hours there. So Sarasota, you're probably looking, 14, 15 hours for sure.
Oh, that's easy then.
Yeah.
That's easy now.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah. Whew. Remember as a kid driving to Disney World, we would usually allow 2 days for that journey. But older life, of course, with better roads and things, most I've driven in a day is 10 hours, and I'll be honest, I don't want to do that too often. I can't imagine doing a 17-hour journey.
There's a shot to shortstop. Handles it on one hop and feeds it over to second base for the final out. In the top of the 4th, 7-6 is our score. Sarasota, Florida leading over Giles County, Tennessee. It's the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
7-6 is our score. Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Sarasota, Florida is leading over Giles County in the night game of the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Got a good game going on the Denver Trap Field here as part of the Babe Ruth World Series, Cam.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get a real quick scoring update over there. Ryan Weathers, son of former Major League pitcher David Weathers, for the Lawrence County team, has got a one-hitter going.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we saw our no-hitter earlier today from the Massachusetts team, but Ryan's put together a one-hitter over North Dakota, and Lawrence County currently leads that game 7-0. So couple games on that field thus far today have been kind of runaway games, and Lawrence County put up a couple extra runs here. That game would get run ruled, but I don't think it's going to make it there. I think it'll go the distance.
Blade Matthews pitching for Giles County, and he is 1-1 now on the batter for Sarasota. And that is Tommy Hubbard, top of the lineup. Hubbard now up 2-1 in the count. 7-6 is our score.
Hubbard is a UCLA fan. It's kind of interesting from all the way in Florida.
Yeah. There's plenty of schools in Florida to root for.
Yeah, it's exactly. I'm sure there's a connection somewhere. And
might be, yeah.
Maybe just as simple as a kid like their colors. I mean, you don't ever know.
Exactly.
You know.
Here's the 2-2, and he goes down swinging. Blade Matthews with a strikeout.
Matthews has got some really, really nasty pitches. And, he's got that little bit of a going away from you there from the right-handed hitters. Very hard to pick up for a righty.
Vasallo now batting, and he is 1 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. Base hit and scored a run in the first, and he lifts that one to left center field. And that ball is going to be run down by Miguel Hayes. Is it Willie May Hayes? I don't know.
Mays Hayes,
it's
man.
Miguel Hayes makes a fine catch in center field.
He didn't have to go over the back, but he was on his horse again, just tracking that one down all the way from center field all the way over to Emmett the Gap. And you look at the smile on the kid from Sarasota. He's like, what do you do?
Yeah, he's like, what are you going to do?
What do you got to do? He absolutely was setting all over that one, and it was just a great play.
Now batting is Ben McCabe. We know, of course, his family is listening back in Florida.
Number 88. I wonder if that's that is a family number, if that's a certain NASCAR driver. It seems to be pretty popular. That was always my thing in baseball growing up. My number was a 3, and it was for Dale Earnhardt. And that was back when NASCAR was probably a little more popular than it is today.
McCabe with an RBI tonight on a sacrifice fly in the first inning.
Tall, lanky kid. Reminds me a lot of myself at that age. Except I was probably a little lankier than that.
The ball is on the outside part of the plate. Ball.
Freshman year of high school, I weighed 140 pounds.
And how tall were you?
6'3".
That's pretty lanky.
Pretty lanky. Made it up to 6'5", and now I'm about 250.
McCabe goes down on strikes. And that is a fine inning from Blade Matthews
It really
right there.
is.
7-6 is our score. Sarasota still leads. Bottom of the fourth on the way. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers. Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
And we are back. 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Blade Matthews with a couple of strikeouts in that last inning, and 7-6 is our score.
Of course, Blade is going to be our leadoff guy here. Is that right?
Now I'm showing Dallin Harris is coming up to bat.
You're exactly right. I was way off on that. So we got a little mixed up in our books here, but that's okay. We're allowed one mistake per game, right? A little more on Blade Matthews, a pitcher for Giles County. His favorite professional player is David Price. It's another ace pitcher, obviously, and his favorite team is the Tennessee Volunteers.
That ball is chopped to first base.
He's got some wheels. Look at this.
And Harris is going to beat it out.
Wow.
Look at that.
And Sarasota played that about as well as you can play it.
Yeah, that's going to be an infield base hit right there.
I mean, he just was coming out screaming.
Not much they could do there.
Absolutely. There's really not. We're getting some instruction here from the Giles County coach to his next batter.
Top of the fifth inning. Coming up now is Andrew Morgan.
Andrew started the game pitching.
Andrew has reached on a base on balls and has struck out.
And he moved over to right field after being pulled.
He shows bunt. Pitch is high. And Harris goes to second, and he is going to be in there safely.
And he, and catcher for Sarasota bobbled it a little bit, got behind him, and he still almost threw it. I mean, we've seen it. He's got some wheels on him, so it was a great throw. There's the play at first on our replay on TV, and he was showing the safe side as he was running. I love it. Looking back at the umpire. Thanks to Visions Plus for giving us those replays tonight.
Andrew Morgan at the dish. 2-0 is the count.
Of course, you can watch those replays online at xsports.com.
xsportsradio.com.
Exports Radio. Another mistake.
Exports TV, and we're broadcasting locally on WKSR Radio.
And if you missed the game and you want to see some highlights from it, they're saved on YouTube on the Exports homepage on YouTube, or you can type in 2015 Babe Ruth World Series and watch the games on there from now on.
Looks that way.
And maybe taken down at some point, I'm sure. Of course, they are selling DVDs of each game if you want them for your own personal use to watch on your TV in high definition.
And this would be a dandy to buy right here.
It would be a dandy. $30 for this game. That's well worth it to have forever.
And there's the pitch from Plattner. Swing and a miss. And Morgan goes down swinging. One away.
Both the pitchers now have kind of seemed to find a little bit of a groove. Even though Giles County has a runner on second, it wasn't really anything the pitcher did necessarily wrong.
Dylan Carmen comes to bat. Carmen flew out to right field and reached safely in his second at bat. That ball's low, but he swings anyway. One strike.
He is Giles County's catcher. He's also our Joey Votto fan.
That ball is up and away. You're talking about some of the cool stuff in Giles County, Tennessee, and you mentioned the Milky Way Farms.
Yeah.
A lot of people know what the Warrior Dash is. It is an obstacle course run that is it's a 5K run, but it's through the Milky Way Farm hills, and there's all kinds of obstacles, and it's just beautiful scenery out there. I survived it a couple of times. I'll be doing it again this year, and I say survive because it's not, it's a good challenge for a decent athlete. For somebody like me that's not in the best shape, it's okay, I just want to survive. But they have that at Milky Way Farms.
I couldn't run from here to first base without that would be a survival for me.
Oxygen mask.
Yeah,
for
I'm
Cam.
going to need a golf cart to get back to my vehicle in the parking lot on the way home.
Here's the 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. Carmen goes down swinging. That's 2 strikeouts for Plattner.
He is in a groove now. A little bit about Sarasota for all those that may be geographical challenged, if you will. Sarasota is a city in Florida. It's southwestern coast of the United States. It is on the Gulf of Mexico. It is basically it is a tourist area. It's there in the Tampa area. The beaches, it's known for really nice beaches. It's Brazelton, Florida, which is where they play the NCAA championship golf tournament. Was held this past year. Is located within that metropolitan area. It has a population in Sarasota of 53,326. So it's a pretty good sized area. Of course, Venice is in that area. The Ringling Brothers had a big establishment and owned a lot in Sarasota back in the 20s. And there's a lot of circus acts that still find their way in that area just because of the Ringling Brothers' presence there from over the years. So it's a pretty neat town, and we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. We've got a lot of information on Sarasota, Florida. It's a very neat town.
I'll tell you from experience that I was on a Sarasota beach in June of this year.
Oh, really?
And magnificent beaches. Seriously,
wow.
yeah.
I hear that. I hear it's phenomenal beaches. I think, is it Siesta Key that's out in that area that people are talking a lot about, saying how it's one of the best kept secrets in the United States. So I'm going to have to make my way down to Sarasota.
That ball up and in to Miguel Hayes. 3-0 the count on Hayes, the leadoff batter for Giles County.
Of course, Sarasota, you might remember that for one of the more tragic days in the United States, September 11th. That's where George Bush was when he heard the news of the September 11th attacks. He was reading a book there at the Booker Elementary School in 2001. And these kids at this age, at 15 years old, would have been one, maybe not even been born yet, some of these kids. And it's kind of crazy that it's been that long ago. Of course, we're coming up on the anniversary, the 14-year anniversary, and I still remember it like it's yesterday.
Yeah. Hayes reaches on a walk. 1 on, 2 away for Giles County. And the coach is going to bring the batter in for a discussion. 1 on, 2 on, check that. First and second. We've got Hayes on at first and Harris on at second.
The show Cougar Town is set in Sarasota, Florida. That airs on TBS. Of course, it's shot somewhere else.
Yeah.
Very popular show.
On an L.A. soundstage. Why couldn't they shoot it on location?
I don't know. Nashville.
It's Hollywood.
Nashville on location.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd much rather be in Sarasota.
Exactly.
Of course, Sarasota County as a whole has a population of 379,000 people. So it's a very big area. Really cool area. I hear a couple people around here, as you said, vacation there. So it's a very popular tourist attraction. Go ahead.
Runners on first and second, and now at the dish is Sam Hatfield.
Of course, it's probably only a couple hours away from Disney World and all that jazz. I dread those days, taking a kid to Disney World. Just leave me at the beach.
Chopper foul, quickly 0-2 to Hatfield. Yeah, I was on vacation this summer and had a friend lives in Tampa, and did a little golfing down there.
Wow.
And went to the beach for a couple of days in Sarasota and just had a real nice time.
Yeah, some of the world's best golf courses in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's where a lot of the PGA is based, is in Central Florida.
was at a golf course, and at the end of our round, Big Break was there. You know, the reality show where they have all these golfers. Yeah. They were there, and they were doing some skills challenges.
Oh, wow.
And I was lucky enough to have two of the best shots at that time of the day. Now, we finished our round at about 1 o'clock, so there was still a slew of other guys to go. But that's that story. That's all. 7-6 is our score as we end the top of the fifth right here. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name: Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
7-6 is our score. Sarasota, Florida leading over Giles County, Tennessee. And we are in the bottom of the fifth inning, and a substitution to announce. Jason Hamilton is going into the game for Andrew Morgan for Giles County.
The game that takes forever. The game that started 30 minutes after it's just finished. Of course, that's a little different. There was a stud pitching performance over on the field next door.
It's been a stud pitching performance in the fifth inning because Giles County, 2 out of their 3 outs in the bottom of the fourth was strikeouts, and there in the top of the fifth there was 3 strikeouts for the Sarasota pitcher.
And on the scoring update on the field next to us, Lawrence County leads North Dakota 9-0. Ryan Weathers still with a 1-hitter. In the bottom of the 7th, so that game, if it's not over yet, it will be here pretty soon, and I suspect a lot of those fans will migrate their way over to this field to watch the end of this game because it is we're set up for an awesome ending.
Yeah, Blade Matthews is dealing right now, 0-2, and that is going to be just outside. I thought he was going to ring him up.
I think he thought about it.
Wilmer is at the dish right now. 1-2 is the count. 7-6 is our score. Sarasota leading over Giles County in the bottom of the fifth inning. Fights that one off, stays alive, does Wilmer. The game's kind of tightened up.
It has.
First few innings, a lot of runs scored, lots of action. Here in the last couple innings, the pitchers have really got it dialed in.
Yeah, and Giles County has 9 hits. They've left a lot of runners on.
Wow, he still missed.
That was I want to be impartial, but that was a strike. That was a strike. I don't know. That unless he struck the strike zone for this late in the game.
It did seem like he was calling those outside calls earlier. That one's on the inside of the plate and in the dirt, and goes from 0-2 to a walk, does Matthews. So Wilmer reaches with a walk.
And the home plate umpire, is hearing it from the Giles County Fayetteville, as I would suspect no less.
But these umpires are some of the best in the country.
They are, and they're here for a reason. Hey, but they're like us. They're like anybody else. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to make a bad call. I think you made the strike zone has definitely shrunk. Now, if it's that way for both sides, okay, that's fine. I don't necessarily like it. I wish you would stay the same the whole game. But if you're going to shrink the strike zone at this point, you need to shrink it for both sides.
No outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sarasota still leading 7-6.
This may be a case for the Giles County pitcher. Maybe a little bit frustrated that he didn't get a couple of those calls, and it might not be just the worst idea if he got a visit from maybe his hind catcher at some point here pretty quick if it continues.
McCarty batting now for Sarasota. 1 ball, no strikes. Quick check on first with Wilmer over there.
As a former pitcher, of course I never played on as big a stage as this, and you've pitched in some games, and a lot of it's mental. I mean, more so than most other positions. A lot of your mechanics and things are muscle memory, but most of your pitching comes from in between your two ears, and a lot of times you just got to regroup. It's kind of like golf. You just need to settle down, do the next one right, but forget about the last one.
McCarty got a little frustrated with himself there because he got a pitch to hit, and he just missed it, fouled it straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Matthews deals, and that is a ball, and we've got a steal attempt, and he is out.
Wow.
Nicely done, Dylan Carmen. Throwing out Wilmer at second base. One away.
Wilmer's got some speed, and Joey Votto would be proud of that one. Johnny Bench would too from last night. Great throw. We've seen a couple of those so far today, and I believe that's the first one we've seen in this game from Giles County. Sarasota had one earlier. Catcher for them has an awesome arm as well. A lot of good arms showcased thus far in this game.
McCarty with the 1-2 takes that inside for a ball, 2-2. There's a nice replay there. The Vision Center replay shows, in fact, he was out at second base. Strike 3 call.
And that's frustrating as a hitter, and because he got the exact same pitch right before that, and it was called a ball. It was identical, the exact same pitch. That's a couple times tonight I've noticed that. Those pitches can't be off by more than an inch or half inch. And, to the naked eye, it looks exactly the same. And it is frustrating, but at the same time, it's been that way for both sides.
2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And then that's a ball.
Seth Shore comes to the dish. Seth Shore grounded out to second base and walked his second time around and scored a run. This is his 3rd plate appearance. That ball's in there for a strike.
He is dealing.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
He walked the batter earlier. Some of the calls, the Giles County fans thought might be questionable. He has pitched really well the last couple innings.
The crowd wanted that one, but that one is low and away.
Man.
That's a little bit low, though.
It is. But there again, if it's that way earlier in the game, in my opinion, it should be that way now. But if he is shrinking it, just let it be that way all the time. That's fine if it is.
There's a chopper to third, and that is going to be mishandled by the third baseman for Giles County, and that will go up as an error. Reaching first is Seth Shore on that error.
That's about the 3rd or 4th time today we've seen a player at third mishandle a ball that seemingly routine. It makes me wonder if there's something going on with that side of the field. If it's something with the dirt or the grass that's causing that ball to spin a certain way, to grab a little bit, just throwing these third basemen off, because that's the 3rd or 4th one we've seen almost very similar to that.
Yeah, Sam Hatfield, third baseman for Giles County, knows he should have had that. It was an in-between hop, a little difficult of a play.
It was.
But he knows he should have had that.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. These kids at this level, they didn't make it to All-Stars and then to this tournament by not making that play. That's a play he makes on a routine basis. And all these guys are. They're great ball players.
There's a shot into left center field, and it's going to fall in there for a hit. Runners on first and second for Sarasota with 2 away. Chase Doyle with a line shot into left field.
How quickly this game can change. You look like you're out of the inning, going to strike out the side, then all of a sudden you're in a little bit of a jam here with 2 outs, runners on first and second. That's a good call by Giles County's coach to come out and just calm him down a little bit, get a little frustrated. Maybe the home crowd's kind of into this, wanting some calls. They're not necessarily getting. Maybe it's flowing out onto the mound from the stands, and just calm him down a little bit, get him settled back in. And if you're Sarasota, you really want to take advantage of this and expand on this lead.
Sebi has it at the dish. He has struck out looking and reached first with a walk. Strike 1 swinging.
There's that cutter again. That's a nasty pitch. It's
high in the zone, but too tempting not to swing at.
Yeah, it's coming right at the batter, and then it cuts late. I doubt from the angles on TV that you're able to see that very well.
That ball's in there for a strike.
He does consistently call the outside corner generously. That's a very consistent call we've seen all night.
And it seems like it's more with the right-handed batters, too, that he's calling that outside strike.
So they're setting up outside now.
Blade Matthews lifts it into shallow right field, and it's going to drop in there for a hit. Coming in to score is Shore. That is 8-6 now for Sarasota.
And as expected, a lot of the Lawrence County crowd and the North Dakota crowd has migrated their way over to watch this one as that game is over. Lawrence County wins that one. But Giles County is in a dogfight here. It's 8-6 now, and going into this inning, Giles County had the lead. Or actually, take that back. Sarasota had the lead, and they've expanded on it. So we got a runner swap here for Sarasota.
Looks like Dalton Plattner is coming to the dish, but Chase Doyle is coming out of the game, and Camry Banks will be going in to run for Doyle.
Have you ever been to Niagara Falls?
I have not.
There is a native of Sarasota. He's a tightrope walker. Nick, I can't pronounce his last name. Walinda?
Oh, the Valindas.
Valinda, yeah. He is known internationally for walking across Niagara Falls and a gorge of the Grand Canyon. I don't believe I want to be walking no tightrope across either one of those.
Too much time on his hands.
That's what it is.
2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-6 is our score, and Plattner is now batting. And we've got Doyle on second base.
There's that cutter again, man. It's nasty.
And that's a strikeout there for Blade Matthews.
When he gets over the top of that pitch, it is just filthy.
8-6 is our score. Sarasota leads over Giles County as we complete the 5th inning. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on X Sports Radio, X Sports TV, and WKSR.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
8-6 is our score. 2015 Babe Ruth World Series between Sarasota, Florida and Giles County, Tennessee. Coming up to bat right now for Giles County, Tennessee will be Blade Matthews, the pitcher.
Final from the Lawrence County game is 9-1. Lawrence County over North Dakota, but Lawrence County suffered a big loss, and one of their star players, Sam Crane, possibly has a concussion. Sliding into second base. They said he hopped up and fell right back over, and hopefully Sam's okay. His dad is one of the coaches for the Lawrence County team, and never like to see anybody get hurt. Of course, we saw one of the Pennsylvania coaches get caught in the arm yesterday on a line drive in the home run derby, and a lot of people, other than the coach, think the arm may be broken. But because it looks pretty nasty. I seen it this morning at West End's practice, and it's nasty looking. But he claims he's okay, not going to take any medical attention. But hopefully those guys are okay. You don't ever want to see that.
Even count with Blade Matthews, 2-2. No outs here in the top of the sixth. Swinging strike three, one away.
Both pitchers at this point have got some really nasty pitches. That was a nasty breaking ball.
Yeah, Plattner, ever since he's come in the game, has really settled this thing down.
He has. He has been on lockdown ever since entering the game, and he come in a tough situation and did pretty well with it. But he, ever since then, man, he has been on absolute lockdown.
Max Jett comes to the dish. And he lifts it over towards first base. But first baseman for Sarasota, Chase Doyle, cannot run it down. Chase Doyle, by the way, comes back in the game. He came out of the game in the last inning for a runner, but is able to enter back into the game one time as long as it's in the same batting order, and that's what they've done.
That pitch from Plattner ran in on the hands late. And he was already committed to swinging. They claim you've got about 1.8 seconds to react from when the pitch leaves the pitcher's hands.
It's not much time.
It's not much time. Think about it. You don't think about how fast that's coming across. It's all about time. You got to make your decision up pretty quick. It's all about release point. A lot of these batters are watching release points. If you get a late breaker, it's just you've got to have in your head what you think he's going to throw you.
2 balls, 1 strike. That ball is up and in, 3-1.
It's the only sport in the world that you can fail at many more times than not.
And still be a success.
Still be a success. If you're 30%, you're doing really well.
And Max Jett's going to reach with a walk. There's often that debate, which sport is more difficult, to hit a golf ball straight or to hit a baseball. And I have to go, it's more difficult to hit a baseball.
Well,
round bat, round ball being thrown.
It does, it's a much different sport, obviously, but it is a very good debate. I mean, would you rather, anybody I feel like can play golf. Now, can they play it well? It's a different question. Can you play you talk about your local club pro who's shooting in the 60s at your local country club. You get them up there against Tiger Woods. They're not even, Tiger's not a good comparison anymore, but Jordan Spieth, it's not even a comparison. Those guys are just off the planet.
Sam Carden is now running in for Max Jett.
But I believe I could hit a golf ball more straight than not, as opposed to trying to hit a Aroldis Chapman 106-mile-an-hour fastball. No thank you, right?
There's a good look at Sam Carden. in for the first time this evening. As we have a discussion on the mound, Coach comes out to the mound to talk things over with his pitcher right now, Plattner, who's been doing really well, but he throws 4 balls to the pitcher, to the previous batter, who reaches with a walk and wants to calm him down a little bit.
I think that's really smart for the Sarasota coach. He's not letting him get too far out there. We've seen a couple times today the coaches have let the players kind of get themselves in a hole before they make a trip to the mound. He's staying on top of it a little bit early, getting out there, say, calm down, you're okay. Got a 2-run lead.
1 ball, no strikes. And that is 2-0.
Just not getting on top of it.
Mac Young has reached twice and scored a run. Popped up to first, his first at bat.
That was a low strike. Working from the stretch.
2 balls, 1 strike. Plattner deals. 3-1.
Of course, a lot of these kids have already, the school systems where they're at have already started back. They're getting an extra week of quote-unquote vacation. I don't know how much of this is vacation. I'm sure they're having a blast, though.
Of
I'm
course.
sure it's a time of their lives. Some of these kids, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Hit and run.
There's a shot into right field. That's going to fall in for a hit. Runners on first and second. Sam Carden did not pick up the ball and was in between first and second. Luckily, he did, in fact, pick it up and reach his second safely. Runners on first and second with 1 away here on the top of the 6th. 8-6 is our score, with Sarasota leading over Giles County.
If you've got a hit and run called, which they did in that situation, it don't matter necessarily where the ball's hit or how. You've got to be running. I mean, that's what the hit and run is. And, you know, unless it's an obvious out. Pop fly, you didn't get back. But obviously a hit and run, you don't really have time to be thinking about it. You need to be watching your third base coach at that point, doing whatever he tells you to do. And just a little bit of a mental breakdown there, just a little bit, but he's okay. No harm, no foul.
Bryce Gibson at the dish, and that ball is low and in. Bryce has reached a couple of times with a base hit and on a walk, has scored a run.
Another visit to the mound. I suspect they're going to be making a change at this point.
Let's see what they want to do. I think on the second visit they have to. Yep, that is indeed the case. So there's going to be a pitching change. Let's take us a quick break. 8-6 is our score. Top of the 6th inning, Sarasota, Florida leading over Giles County in the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on X Sports Radio, X Sports TV, and WKSR.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit sealawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
2015 Babe Ruth World Series from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Sarasota, Florida leading 8-6 right now over Giles County, Tennessee. Giles County with 10 hits, Sarasota with 6 hits. Florida has 2 errors and Giles County has 3 errors. This game summary brought to you by the Summit at Home, helping individuals live independently at home. And we have a pitching change, Cam.
Yeah, and this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Farm Bureau of Tennessee in Lawrence and Giles counties. Call Farm Bureau today and get your insurance checkup.
As Seth Shore deals, he is going to get 1 out with 1 pitch. Seth Shore was at third base previous to his pitching appearance. Now pitching for Plattner, who was relieved. 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning.
Plattner come in and pitched pretty well, shut this Giles County team down. They were Plattner coming in a really particularly dangerous situation, but he got out of it and shut down this Giles County team. But he got in a little bit of a predicament here, and so they made the call to the bullpen to Seth Shore.
Runners do advance, though. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for Giles County. And Dallin Harris is now batting for Giles County. Dallin Harris has had a good night at the plate thus far. Scored a run, single as well. 2 away here in the top of the 6th. That ball's right down the middle. It is lifted out of play.
That made it into the other field.
Quickly 0-2 for Harris.
And like we've said earlier, it's all about timely hitting. And this would be timely hitting here for Giles County. This is something that you desperately need. You're getting a little bit behind on the scoreboard. You get 2 runners in scoring position, but you get 2 outs.
Can they tie it up with a base hit? That ball is going to be called for a strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. It's the one he's been calling all night.
He's been calling it all night.
8-6 is our score. In the top of the 6th inning as we finish that, this is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Develop a strong, clean, healthy body, mind, and soul. Develop a strong urge for sportsmanlike conduct. Develop understanding of and respect for the rules. Develop courage in defeat, tolerance and modesty in victory. Develop control over emotions and speech. Develop into real, true citizens.
At the Babe Ruth League, we are not only developing the next generation of ball players, we are developing the next generation.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Look at this guy right here.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's more memorabilia, man.
Memorabilia.
Yeah. So if you're coming to the games this weekend, you can get a Babe Ruth T-shirt like this. And if you're watching us online, you can see it. We're showing it live. It's got Davy Crockett pitching to Babe Ruth.
Hold it still, Cam. Bethany's trying to focus on it.
Okay. It's got the Babe Ruth logo from the World Series and the date. There we go. That's a good shot there. And we'll try to get some pictures up on that on our X Sports. But on the back, it's got the states highlighted in red, and it's got the towns listed where each team is from.
Right here's where we are.
Yeah, that's where we are. And so these are really cool. And they're the breathable, like the dry fit type shirts. So these are at the souvenir booth on the Midway, and they have some really cool stuff. And throughout the week, we're going to feature a lot of this stuff on our broadcast here, and so we'll try to get some pictures up for all you radio listeners out there. This is a really cool item. I'm taking this one home.
We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. 8-6 is our score. Sarasota, Florida, leading over Giles County, Tennessee. It's been a good ball game. There was a lot of talk about Tennessee, the Giles County team from Tennessee, maybe not being up to par with some of the other teams. And we have a called third strike and a ball that was thrown wild. And we're going to see what happens. The Giles County team thought that was a foul tip, and that's why the catcher did not run immediately to get the ball. But the Sarasota runner runs to first just in case. Let's see what the official call is. I think they're going to call that a foul tip. And it looks like it's going to end up being a 1-2 count.
Yeah, and there was a lot of confusion going on there, and I was in the process of putting my T-shirt away, trying to hide it from the people I stole it from.
You're gonna give that back so they can sell it, right?
Supposed to.
Okay.
But that's my wife's size, not my size. No, I will be returning the T-shirt.
Count evens up 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I will be buying one, though. Those are really nice T-shirts.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Davy Crockett, which made his home here in Lawrence County for many, many years, was a state and national politician.
There's a base hit back past the pitcher and fielded by the shortstop, and he guns it over to first base. Nicely done right there from the Giles County shortstop, Bryce Gibson.
Mr. Gibson has got a cannon. He's showcased that a couple times. And both these shortstops for both these teams have cannon. You know, his counterpart on the other side, DJ McCarthy, one of those kids I was talking about earlier, just the athleticism. You can just see it without him even moving. He's just a big kid. Also got a cannon.
And looks like we've got some sort of substitution. Let's see who that is coming in. It looks like Hayes Bush is going to be coming into bat right now for Sarasota. And there's that replay, Vision Center replay. Boy, that was a close play.
Yeah, it really
was.
was.
He, in fact, calls him out.
And he's none too happy about it.
Vision Center replay.
He was none too happy about it. A couple of the coaches' names from Sarasota, last name Million. Rob Million and Dave Million.
Or as Austin Powers would say, or Dr. Evil, Million.
Million. That's a pretty interesting last name. I don't know that I've ever heard that. Million.
Hayes Bush now batting for Sarasota. And that is strike number 2 on Mr. Bush. He is taking the place of Tommy Hubbard. Fans wanted a strike on that.
Yeah,
huh?
and he's consistently not giving that inside pitch. Now, he'll give it on the outside, but he has not been giving it on the inside.
That ball's way outside. He evens up 2-2.
Not that far outside. He's not going to give him that one.
Score is 8-6. Sarasota still leading over Giles County, Tennessee in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hayes Bush batting for Tommy Hubbard. That was a nice breaking ball, but he stays alive. Fouls it back.
Getting a lot of reports on Ryan Weathers, the pitcher for Lawrence County in the other game. And he looked really, really impressive tonight.
Strike 3 on Hayes Bush. 2 away.
Sent a couple of the pitchers for both Sarasota and Giles County. Both have had some good-looking pitchers here tonight.
Yeah, it seems like when they brought in the relief pitchers, Blade Matthews and Plattner respectively, for the teams, they kind of settled things down.
Yeah, and, you know, being a starter is tough. And it's a lot psyche, especially the first game of a tournament on a big stage. It is a little bit tough, and as somebody who's kind of been sitting there watching things unfold, you know, kind of has a little bit more of an edge.
That ball was lifted to second baseman, and he makes the play, and that's a third out of the 6th inning. 8-6 is our score, as Sarasota leading over Giles County. This is the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on Exports Radio, Exports TV, and WKSR.
Whether you're an all-star athlete or a weekend warrior, don't let pain keep you out of the game. At Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, our orthopedic, spine, and sports medicine experts care for athletes and average folks alike. We're your hometown orthopedics and sports medicine team. Orthopedic excellence has a new name, Southern Tennessee Orthopedic and Spine Centers, Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Winchester.
There are many reasons to see Lawrence County, Tennessee. See it for the nature. See it for the culture. See it for the history. See it for the recreation. See it live. Lawrence County, Tennessee. Simple pleasures, natural treasures. For more information on Lawrence County tourism, visit clawco.com or contact the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce.
We are back at the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Final chance for Giles County as they trail 8-6 to Sarasota, Florida. And it's been a fine ball game by both teams. A lot of early scoring, but the pitchers have really settled things down here in the later innings. Coming up to bat is number 2 Hamilton for Giles County.
Oh!
Well, that'll get you on first.
Yeah, that was directly in the center of the back. Again, there's a difference between being in pain and being uncomfortable. That was borderline. That was borderline between pain and uncomfortable. He's stretching it off, man. He is. That definitely hurt because that hit right in the center of the back. Stretch it out, get it going, get loosened up.
Jason Hamilton reaches, hit by pitch.
He'll feel that in the morning.
You know, that's what you call taking one for the team.
That's right. I mean, hey, on base percentage, that's what you need. He's going to stay in. And we saw earlier today, Texas made a late inning comeback in the top of the 7th. Let's see if Giles County can do the same or if Florida can hold them off. And Giles County's, we talked about before the game, they needed to prove to some people that they belong here against this stout Sarasota team, and I believe they have done that. I believe they have proved they belong in this tournament. They didn't need just to be the fortune of Tennessee being the host. They have played an excellent ball game against this Sarasota club. I had no doubt.
Dylan Carmen batting. 1 ball, no strikes. And there's a strike on the outside corner. There's that outside strike again.
It's been consistent. It's been that way for both sides.
Dylan Carmen has reached and flown out to right field. Also struck out his last time at bat. The 1-1 is foul tipped.
We were talking about the kids having to miss a week of school. What about these parents? They've traveled with these kids to Southeast Regionals and Pacific Southwest region. I mean, the parents have traveled all over the country and probably taken a lot of vacation days, and some of them may not even been able to be here and are listening to us online tonight or on the radio. We're also on a TuneIn radio app. Multiple ways you can catch the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Carmen. Stays alive, fouls that one off. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Giles County trying to get back in this thing as they trail by 2. As you mentioned earlier, the game, the Lawrence County, North Dakota game, finished a little earlier, and many of those fans have come over to watch the completion of this game, as this is an exciting ball game here. Not that the other one wasn't, with a fine pitching performance from Ryan Weathers, but it was the final was 9-1 over there.
Right, 9-1, absolutely.
So we've got an 8-6, more of a tight ball game, a little bit of back and forth here, and here we are coming to the 7th inning, and Giles County with 1 man on, and the tying run at the dish, and Dylan Carmen. 2-2 count. Shore delivers. That ball is outside for a ball.
This game started 2 hours and almost 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. 7:52, our official game start time, Central Time that is. And we are nearing 10:30.
Yeah, and it's 11:30 in Sarasota at this point. So those of you staying up late, we appreciate it.
That ball is lifted out of play. Carmen stays alive.
And then, of course, probably some fans on the West Coast. We have a California team here from the Westchester. Some of those fans may be listening to us. It's It's still early in the evening out there.
That's right. They're just having dinner.
They're just now getting in for work. Of course, Hawaii has qualified for the World Series a few times. They're not here this year, but it's still mid-afternoon in Hawaii.
Full count to Carmen. And the pitch. Back through the box. Could it be a double play ball? Out on second, but not in time to get the speedy Carmen at first, but he will reach on a fielder's choice, one away.
Batter for Giles County, top of the order, the center fielder, number 12, Miguel Hayes.
Back to the top of the lineup for this squad from Eastern Tennessee. Giles County winning state.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of the game, we will be awarding the most valuable players for the game.
Hayes has had a good night at the plate. He's reached on a fielder's choice, a walk, and a single.
While we have a moment, be sure to come
Made a fine running play in center field earlier tonight.
He did. Had some wheels on him.
And the pitch. That ball's in on his hands, but he fouls it off. Dylan Carmen at first base. Reached on a fielder's choice.
You know, he's talking about the double play that Sarasota just tried to turn. We hadn't seen too many teams been able to pull that off tonight in both the games we've covered.
Seen a few attempts, but I don't think anybody's gotten it successfully.
I don't think they have either.
That one's right down the middle, but it is lifted out of play. Hayes is going to be frustrated with himself there. That was a pitch he could handle.
Yeah, just a little bit late on it.
0-2.
This kid here for Sarasota is bringing the heat. Seth Shore. He's got a nice fastball. Not a lot of movement, but it's definitely going to be a change of pace of what some of these Giles County hitters have faced tonight. It's coming in, I'm going to guess, in the mid to upper 70s.
The 0-2. Up high.
And what that equates at the major league level, since the mound is shorter, it's probably the equivalent of somewhere in the mid to upper 90s.
Probably so.
I would guess so. I don't know the math on that.
You don't have that formula down,
no,
Cam?
Man. I'm not ESPN, and I don't claim to be the mothership. But they have some wacky formulas that who knows if they're right. But it's coming in pretty fast.
And that is strike three. That's a good call by the umpire.
It is a good call.
Hayes goes down on strikes, 2 away. Last chance is Sam Hatfield for Giles County.
I wonder if they've got any more of those prime rib sandwiches left over after this one.
Didn't you eat them all?
I've only had 2. I will be getting a third one if there's any available. I can assure you of that.
Might have to join you.
Amen to that. They are delicious.
Sam Hatfield represents the tying run for Giles County. It's 8-6, top of the 7th inning. And Dylan Carmen is on first base. He reached on a fielder's choice.
And I've been showing you in a couple of the games tonight some of the souvenirs, and we've been talking about some of the T-shirts. They've got coffee mugs, bats. Did you realize the high school actually printed a lot of this right over here behind our shoulder?
Oh, wow. They did great work.
Kids at the high school. And, oh, man, it's fantastic.
Here's the 1-0. Outside.
I mean, it is really, really professional quality. I mean, you would have think it came from a big national vendor, but a lot of the items were printed right back here from the kids at Lawrence County High School as part of their education class in design. And, man, they are incredible.
The 2-0 pitch coming from Shore. That ball's in there for a strike.
There's a guy here had a radar gun earlier that was, I believe it was a scout from Martin Methodist. I think is what I ended up determining. I may be wrong on that, but I would love to know what this kid is throwing at, because he is really throwing some heat. It's really got the Giles County hitters off right now.
The 2-1 inside. 3-1. Just misses.
He's not been giving them that inside call very often. That outside call he will give. But the home plate up says ball 3. Big at bat here for Giles County.
The 3-1 coming from Shore. That ball's down and away. The tying run is at first base. The go-ahead run comes to the plate in the form of Blade Matthews. 2 down. Top of the 7th inning. Giles County trailing 8-6. In the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. And Cam, quickly explain the how the tournament goes. They'll be playing every team once.
Yeah, and there's 2 separate pools. Each pool, this particular pool, will play every team in that particular pool at least once. The 2 teams with the best record in that pool play will move on to elimination round. So basically, you play till you lose, and once you lose, you're off to the showers. And the championship game will be a week from tonight.
Blade Matthews takes the first pitch for a ball.
So we're going to be here with you every night this week. We may need a lot of coffee.
We're going to be fine.
Possibly some other things to keep us awake. So anything.
Some prime rib sandwiches.
Prime rib sandwiches. Tomorrow night will be brisket, Red Bulls, anything like that would be very much appreciated.
The 1-0. That's 4 straight balls thrown from Shore, who was dealing previously.
Yeah.
2-0.
Of course, we've been here since about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and it has quickly turned into a late evening.
And dare I say the temperature has gotten cool.
It has. It's almost to the point I want a jacket. And what was funny, I was talking.
That
was a questionable call.
Anyway,
yeah.
It was a called strike.
I was talking to some of the teams from up the northern half of the country today, and they were saying, "Is this cool for this part of the country?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is like long sleeve weather for some of the women," and they were kind of laughing about it. I said, "No lie."
The 2-1, now 2-2.
I said, "You'll see some people tonight with long sleeves and blankets and possibly some jackets tonight. You know, once the temperatures get down into the low 70s." I'm looking through the stands now. I don't see any blankets. I'm shocked, actually. I see some people kind of. No, I see a jacket.
Giles County down to their final strike. Can Blade Matthews keep this thing going for Giles County? Sarasota leads 8-6. Here's the pitch. Inside, swung on, and it is a strikeout, and that is a final. Sarasota beats Giles County 8-6. A fine ball game. We're going to take a break and come back and recap this game. But Sarasota, Florida, winning over Giles County, Tennessee, 8-6 in the night game of evening 1 of the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on X Sports Radio, X Sports TV, and WKSR.
Main Street Lawrenceburg is proud to support the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series. Downtown is in the midst of an incredible revitalization led by Daryl Valentine and the Main Street Board in an effort to make downtown the heartbeat of the city. Come join us downtown where you'll find many shops and restaurants for folks of all ages, streets full of history, and much more. Visit MainStreetLawrenceburgTN.com. On behalf of Daryl Valentine and myself, April Judkins, Main Street Lawrenceburg Director, we hope to see you downtown.
Why do people all over the Tennessee Valley love Story and Lee furniture?
I haven't found anything in the whole Tennessee Valley that's the size of Story and Lee.
We know when we come into Story and Lee, we're going to get good quality furniture. We know we're going to get a great price.
With over 144,000 square feet of furniture to choose from, it's the largest furniture store in the Tennessee Valley.
When we go look other places, we always wind up back here for a better buy.
You gotta come see Story and Lee.
Story and Lee Furniture in Leoma, Tennessee.
Was unsurpassed. His primary objective was that every child has the opportunity.
That's us.
It's us. We're here.
Live at the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series, and it is a final 8-6. The Giles County team falling to the hands of Sarasota, Florida, and it was a good ball game, the first 3 innings especially.
Yeah.
And we go now to our play of the game, which was an RBI single from Chase Doyle that put Sarasota ahead 7-6. They went on to score another run, an insurance run, but it was that hit from Chase Doyle that put them up for good, and Chase Doyle is our player of the game. And, of course, our player of the game is sponsored by the First Volunteer Bank. And, well, that was the play of the game.
Play of the game. Chase Doyle is a Cocinia Real play of the game.
Yeah.
And, of course, now the Babe Ruth folks up here in the press box chose Chase as their player of the game, but we differ a little bit from that.
Yeah.
And we will from time to time throughout the week, which we see things a little differently. That's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. There was a lot of players of the game, but it was really hard. We come up with, I believe that was Plattner, the pitcher, as our player of the game, and player of the game is brought to you by First Volunteer Bank. Basically, when he come into the game, Kevin, he shut it down. He was, he coming in a really difficult spot. He may have gave up a couple runs, but it wasn't necessarily his earned runs. From that point forward, he was in lockdown mode, and he really got them settled down, got them in the groove, and let the bats go to work and get them out ahead. That's exactly what happened. You could go Chase Doyle. I believe he was the player of the game from the Babe Ruth folks. But we're going to give it to Plattner.
Yeah, we gave Chase Doyle the play of the game with that RBI hit that put him up. But Plattner, as you mentioned, Cam, really came in and settled this team down and kept them off the board for the most part afterwards.
Yeah. And, the tournament recap tonight is brought to you by State Farm agent Brad Nilsson. For all your home and auto life insurance needs, call Brad Nilsson at 931-762-8181.
And in this game, to recap the tournament, 8-6 the final with Sarasota beating Giles County, Tennessee. In our earlier game in the tournament, it was Southern Brazoria County winning 8-3 over the California team from Westchester.
That's right.
In kind of a stunning comeback victory in that one.
It was, and it was very much like this game, except Giles County got runs earlier in the game. The runs that Texas got were toward the end of the game, and it wasn't enough time for California to really overcome that. So it's a little bit different. It's all about timing, as we've been saying. It's all about timing when you get them, and they got them a little later earlier tonight. But then we saw Massachusetts pitch a no-hitter, 18th in World Series history. And then we saw Ryan Weathers for Lawrence County. He had a one-hitter at one point. Then they heard some of the scouts that was over at that field come over and talked to me in between our breaks, and he said by far the best arm of the tournament thus far. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does throughout the week. But this is I tell you what I've been more impressed with than anything. Giles County proved they belong here with this game, because this Sarasota team, if you're ranking teams, they would probably be ranked number one.
Absolutely.
Seed-wise, and just because of past and what they've done. So Giles County definitely belongs in this tournament, and they proved as much. One loss isn't going to put them in the doghouse yet, but if they can't lose again, otherwise they're going to be done. They're not going to get out of pools play.
Right, absolutely. We got some great matchups coming up tomorrow. Ohio Valley taking on the Middle Atlantic region, and the Southeast region. This Florida team will be taking on the Pacific Northwest team in the early games, and then Pacific Southwest will be taking on this same Giles County team that we just watched in the later game, along with the Pacific Southwest team from California taking on the New England team taking on the Lawrenceburg team in the 8 o'clock game tomorrow night. And you can check all these scores and all these highlights and everything. Go to xsportsradio.com. You can also check out the official Babe Ruth World Series website for all of that information. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's been an enjoyable night for Ricky Nelson on camera, Bethany Nelson, camera operator as well, Nick Moore, Ben Methvin, Ricky Lee Nelson, our technical director, Cam Mashburn, color analysis. I'm Kevin Kilpatrick. We're saying so long from the 2015 Babe Ruth World Series on X Sports Radio, X Sports TV, and WKSR. Have a good night.
Develop a strong, clean, healthy body, mind, and soul. Develop a strong urge for sportsmanlike conduct. Develop understanding of and respect for the rules. Develop courage in defeat, tolerance and modesty in victory. Develop control over emotions and speech. Develop into real, true citizens.
At the Babe Ruth League, we are not only developing the next generation of ball players, we are developing the next generation.